Cover one, what is it? Why do teams run it? How do they disguise it? And most importantly, how do you beat it? Coming up right now in quarterback training. Hey everybody, I'm Mike Pawlawski, 11-year pro quarterback and world champion. Today, we got a little quarterback training on cover one. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell. That way you won't miss a thing that I am teaching you about football. Also, please give me a thumbs up if you dig learning the game, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. So what is cover one? Well, as we talked about in the other coverage videos that I've done, and if you haven't seen the other coverage videos, I will put a card right up here, and I will put the links in the comment section down below so you can get to them. But coverages are denoted by how many guys are deep for the most part. And so cover one, you would have one safety deep. Cover one is a man coverage. As a quarterback, early on sometimes, especially if you don't have great receivers, it's tough to throw against man coverages. You get out of rhythm, guys get jostled. But as you develop in the game, your receivers develop in the game, you really start to enjoy throwing against man coverages, because if you get good matchups and you have good receivers that can beat those matchups, man coverage is where you want to be. Now, teams try to use man coverage so that they can bring some pressure. They're going to bring an extra linebacker. They're going to bring an extra safety. They might bring a corner, and they'll disguise as well. But in those situations, if you're a veteran quarterback, a guy that knows how to protect himself, you're going to be all right. You can get protection there to protect yourself, and then it's mano a mano in those receivers on the outside. The one high safety is a zone player. He's kind of scouring the field as that center fielder. And so he's there to help out with some of those inside throws. But because you have single coverage in cover one, oftentimes you'll get receivers to pop open. Right now we're going to take a look at a page from my Tampa Bay Buccaneers playbook, and I'll show you what cover one looks like on paper. And then we'll take a couple looks at clips on film to show you variations of how different teams play it. Let's hit the playbook. So you can see here, cover one up top, single safety high. He is the only zone player in that secondary. On the outside, you've got corners locked up in man-to-man. These little dotted lines here denote man coverage. On the inside, you've got your strong safety on the Y. In this case, that would be a tight end. But if he were to split out and be a slot out here, strong safety would be locked up on him as well. Then on the inside, you have linebackers, in this instance, the way they have it drawn up in this playbook, who are playing what's called banjo coverage or inside-out coverage. If the back release is through and inside, the peg linebacker, which is the weak inside linebacker in this 3-4 scheme, would get him. And if the back release is outside, then Will would take him coming off the outside. And so everybody manned up across the board, and as you can see here, bringing one guy extra. And so you're going to get a 4-man rush right here. Mike is going to be that fourth rusher, and so they're bringing the one extra defender from that linebacker position. That's the way you get to cover one in this basic set. 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight end, and playing that straight cover one. So that's a look at cover one on paper. Now let's take a look at a couple of film clips, and I'll show you variations of how different teams play it and the psychology behind it. So here we have Cal versus Washington State in Berkeley, and Washington State running a cover one in this instance. You can see a ton of dudes up here inside the box at the line of scrimmage. Now, Cal has super tight. They've compressed the field with their receivers on the inside. And so what that does is it packs everybody into that box area, but it leaves a bunch of space on the outside for receivers to work to, and it means that all of these DBs have to be concerned about a two-way go. Oftentimes in cover one, if you're running wide splits with receivers, the corners can use the boundary as a helper. But when you bring them inside like this, now each receiver has a two-way go. And so as we move this play forward a little bit, you're going to see, because they have everybody inside, if you leave all of your DBs at the same level, meaning all these guys down here, then there's a good chance that anything coming across receivers can pick that off. And so Washington State walks guys off, and they drop back to give themselves a little bit of space. They walk inside guy off here, walk the outside guy off here. So as we move it forward a little more, you'll see they're trying to give Cal a little bit of a dirty look here in that they're faking pressure off the outside here, and then he is going to drop out underneath. They're bringing pressure with 1, 2, 3 guys. And so only a 3-man rush. So they're giving you that tight one look on the outside. Obviously, that's tight, so he's got to cover that outside release. This guy is locked up man right here. This guy is locked up man, and the Bears are getting a little bit of a rub route on the inside. And this guy is also in man coverage, waiting for this route to declare. But what they're trying to do with that pressure look is they're trying to now drop linebackers and this edge guy who gave that blitz look underneath in hopes that they can get the quarterback to throw the quick game on the inside, maybe throw the hot route, and that way they can get a cheap one on the pick on the inside or a tip and a pass defensed. We'll keep moving forward here. You can see with only 3 men rushing, nice dish here for the quarterback to operate. And you've got a mismatch here on the outside. Not a mismatch, but he's gotten shoulder to shoulder, so he's got an edge on that DB. If we run that back, you can see as he comes underneath, I talked about that two-way go that everybody has to cover. This man is locked up here. As he gets width to the outside, trying to pick in here as well, they have plenty of space so he can come over the top, but now it's one-on-one to the outside with plenty of space to operate. And so as a result, when he hits that edge, he gets the upfield shoulder. Now he's got the advantage. Quarterback sees it, free safety in the middle of the field. He's looking at this 3-way route combination. His eyes are in the wrong place. Single matchup here, quarterback recognizes it, and he lets it fly. Great job throwing the deep ball to the outside. One more look at it, full go. Just a clean release on the outside. Good ball. Big gainer. That's why you love throwing against cover 1 as a quarterback. If you get that one matchup to your advantage, you can take your shot as long as that safety doesn't get involved. Now you've got USC. Talented in the secondary, fast guys across the board. This is what we used to call dude coverage. And the reason we call it dude coverage is because as a DB, you say, I got that dude, I got that dude, I got that dude, I got that dude. And then this back coming out of the backfield is going to get picked up by one of those guys. So this is just going to be a straight cover 1. No disguise. You can see free safety right down the hash, not necessarily in the center of the field, but he's down the hash straight over the ball from the quarterback. And so this is cover 1 all day long. Man looks on the outside with guys in position to play man. He's locked into his receiver. He's looking in right now, but he's about to turn out and lock into that receiver as well. And so as we move it forward here, you can see these guys essentially as a defense are saying, my athletes are better than your athletes. As this tracks across, this guy's running from the backside with it. No rush here. He's playing man on that back. You see this guy starting to come up, but straight man, straight man, straight man, single high safety in center field. No extra pressure. And once again, man coverage, you have to honor that go route. And so receiver into the boundary. This is what's called running for the sticks. 3rd down and 10 here. So as a receiver, you got to know where those sticks are. He's going to come down, run that stop route right at the sticks. Quarterback's going to deliver a ball. It's a little low. He didn't keep him up, but just enough to get that first down. Slow-mo. SC brings out one outside backer. He wasn't responsible for anybody. So they get a 5-man rush. Right here, extra rusher. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then straight dude coverage across the board. Everybody's locked up as he runs that sit down. Timing is what beats it in this case. As a quarterback versus man, you have to throw the ball on time. If your receiver gets a step, you have to get that ball there in time to take advantage of it. Good ball, good catch, and they get a good spot from the official. So that's just a couple different variations of cover one. There are a ton of variations. One robber, one invert, one banjo. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with it. But cover one, essentially, as you break it down, one safety high, man across the board with all the other DBs, linebackers locked up on backs that split to their side. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. That way you get notified every time I have new stuff that comes out. Give me a thumbs up if you understand cover one better now. And if you have any questions about what I was just talking about anything else in football, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm happy to answer questions for you. So what routes work versus cover one? Well, obviously, if you feel like you have a matchup, the go route, the deep route, post corners, all great routes if you have the matchup, personnel versus personnel. If you're looking at patterns or types of routes within patterns, runaways are great versus man. You always look at teams that run crossers, deep overs, digs, those kind of things are very effective versus man. If you can get a good break at the top, get some separation, and then run away from man, that leaves the DB in pursuit on the backside and gives you a spot for the quarterback to put the ball. I appreciate you watching here. Just wanted to give you details on cover one so you could understand man coverage for your quarterback training and you could play better from the pocket.